Today, I want to share with you all some of the amazing stories my students have left with me for this chapter I like to call Social Adventure. So, the guys, my students have been writing their very first books, their personal narratives, adventure stories that are very true. Check out what some of my babies had to say. In the summer break of 2017, my family and I traveled to Bali. On the way there, my mom told me about surfing lessons that were in the hotel. She told me that we could book them. So me and my siblings agreed. After we reached our destination, we settled in and booked lessons. The next day, we changed into our swimsuits. After that, we went to the beach and realized that the sand was black. So I asked my instructor about it, and he told me it was because there was a volcano that erupted a long time ago. We started surfing. My brother and I progressed very fast on the shore, but my sister didn't. So we got a different instructor for my sister. After about 4 days, our instructor told us to get in the boat. We were going to the next level, but I didn't know why he took us from after, I don't know why he took us after the sun came down. After about half an hour, we were about next to the border. The waves were so big that it could swallow us. We got into the water and tried to catch some waves. My brother was able to get on the first try, to get one on the first try, but I wasn't able. About on the fifth try, I finally got one. It was so fun that I felt like I was flying. I got off early since it was very cold and scary. After that, we went back to the hotel, ate dinner, and slept. Now, tell me, are you giving your children this type of experience where they get to go off to Bali and have an experience as a child at this level that they can share this in their personal narrative? No, this is not a fake story. My kids are telling real life stories. So, on to student example number two. Message to all my people out there. This is your World Humanities class. In case you didn't know what lifestyles of the rich and famous of the highest currency on the planet. This is what their children are talking about in my class. Example number two. Today I'm going to tell you a story about my story for the first time I went to Spain. It started on July 2nd, 2015. I and my family slept super early because our plane was in the morning. Me and my family woke up at 2, so we don't miss our flight, especially because we are a lot of children. We all got ready and rushed to the car as fast as we can. Then we reached the airport. We got us some breakfast and a smoothie on the way. After that, we got us a place to sit and eat our breakfast. Then we heard the autocom call out for the people who booked a plane to Spain to come to the gate number 3. So we rushed to the gate as fast as we can. Later in the middle of the plane ride, one of the cabin crews offered me the menu to choose from for my lunch. But I told her to thank you and I have my snacks and I did not mean to be mean, but I'm not a fan of airplane food. Then we reached to our car to go to our house. Our house? While we were on the way to our house, there we passed by a gas station to get some snacks. Before we got into the gas station, my dad gave me and my brother some money to spend to buy toys and useful stuff. Later, we all took a nap so we could go to Tivoli, which is a place where there are roller coasters, games, and a lot more fun games. An hour passed, and all of us woke up to change into some comfy clothes and head over to Tivoli. After, when we reached Tivoli, I and my brothers ran to this ride that goes up and down. After a while, we went to the restaurant for dinner. It was amazing and tasty. At the end of the day, we were all exhausted, so we went straight to bed. The next morning, we woke up we went to a place we call the port. The port has games, restaurants, shops, scooters to rent, and a lot more fun activities. We spent the day there. First, we ate breakfast, then we went shopping, and afterwards, we went to a trampoline park and we wasted our money on toys. In the evening, we went to a public pool and swam happily till my 3-year-old naughty brother jumped into the deep side and he drowns me and my family could not hear him because he's underwater without a floaty. He kept screaming what we thought it was someone else. After 3 to 2 minutes, we saw a lifeguard jump in and take my brother out. So we all ran to him and helped him. He was choking and crying so hard his face turned blue. The lifeguard called the emergency team, and thankfully, they saved him. Thank you for listening to the most amazing adventure to Spain that I will never forget. Notice in this child's story, the whole family's on a plane. This is just a pitch as far as English as a second language. These babies have done a phenomenal job. I know as a teacher, I'll go back and correct the grammatical errors, but it's really about the exposure of this child to not only travel to Spain for the first time, but honey, not in a hotel, they have a house. Last but not least in this series of social adventure in the classroom, student 3. My family and I decided to go to England, Woburn Forest. When we got there, we had to wait for a long time to enter because of the people coming in and people going out. On the first night, we were watching a scary movie and a fox decided to greet us with an alarm bark. That means that something is approaching us and we need to be safe. She was bright orange. She had a black tail. She had 2 fox cubs following her and she was really shy. We were all terrified, but my sister knows how to calm down a mom fox. My sister went and calmed the fox down, and then we gave her food, and she basically became our best friend through the trip. She would come to us every day and just ask for food on her way, in her own way. The next day was basically one of my favorite days in the world. First, I woke up to the sound of my dad cooking breakfast. When I woke up, my sister, she actually told me that what we were going to do today. She said, I quote, "We're going to hold owls," end quote. I couldn't sleep anymore. I had to wake up. I responded by telling her, I am the most excited person in the world right now. So after I ate breakfast, we went to the owl section and I saw the most beautiful owls ever. I held an owl named Lilith. Lilith was a tiny white owl with brown eyes. I also held another owl called Disney. Disney was a beautiful, white, and little owl. Held another owl. She also had blue eyes and she would stare at you. But you think it's scary, but when you focus, she isn't. Disney is actually Lilith's brother. I couldn't hold their mother, Talia, because she was a bit stubborn. She was white too, and she had one brown eye and another mixed blue eye. Here was the best part. There was an uncontrollable owl. Her name was Sinitra, but she wouldn't let anybody touch her. My dad knows a lot about owls, so my dad asked them, "Is that a great horned owl?" They replied with a yes. We were all terrified, and she looked like she wasn't in a good mood. So my dad asked me, "Go ahead and hold her." I said, "She will kill me." My dad said, "No." The employee answered, "If she will kill you, you would never send you to hold her." I didn't answer. I was terrified. I did it anyway. It's a one time opportunity while I'm walking to pet her. She looked at me and she froze. I was confused, but I kept walking towards her. Finally, when I got to her, she became very calm and she was under control. My dad knew what was going to happen. He said, "She likes you." I answered with confusion. How did you know she was going to be under control because of me? The employee answered and said, "Owls do eye contact with people they want, your dad, and I saw her do eye contact with you. So we asked you to hold her. I was flattered to be an owl's favorite, and I didn't want to leave. Until this day, I FaceTime her every Tuesday. I miss that day, and I remember every detail that happened. Thank you for allowing me to share some of the personal narratives from students around the world in grade 6. I'm not just a teacher, guys. This is a part of my social adventure. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye, bye, boo.